Hello and welcome back to week number 3 of the Boom and Bloom Spring Open 2-player Hanabi tournament. And I have again with me, hopefully every week, we will have Steven with me. Hello, Steven.
Hello, thank you for having me again. I can't wait to do commentary for week 2. Let's do it.
Absolutely. So yeah, last week I know the video went a little long, so sorry viewers. We'll try to keep it a little shorter. This time you already know what the tournament is, you already know these systems, but you will notice a very colorful new type of card here. Indeed, last week was no variant. This time we're complicating things just a little bit and adding Rainbow Suit. Actually very curious to talk about how that changes the strategic ideas. But last thing, just a little bookkeeping. So if you check on the Hanabi wiki, you can actually check the standings. So at the end of week 1, we had, you can see, wow, 6 teams managed a perfect 4 out of 4 perfect scores. And yep, I see another 3, a bunch of teams right chasing at their heels. So yeah, Steven, you actually looked through like all the games. So how are the teams doing so far overall?
I'm loving it. I'm seeing a lot of great play across the tournament, and I'm excited to see, more good play going forward. Let's see how long we can keep a tie at the top of the leaderboard.
Totally. And I imagine we touched on this last week. Things are going to get a little tougher as we go. See, week 3 is going to be pink, and then it doesn't get easier from there. So yeah, without further ado, we can jump into our first seed, our first team we're highlighting. And oh my gosh, these names are old school as hell. This is awesome to see these two. And I believe they are playing H group conventions, so let's see how they do. We start. I mean, there's really only one choice here available, which is going to be saving the 2s. There it is. So now from Dune's perspective, very different story. Must be a relief to see 3 different ones in your teammate's hand. So I would expect a 1's clue looks great. What do you think?
Yeah, I think a 1's clue is the best option here. There is an alternative of cluing blue to Sharkbite if Dune really wants to get the blue 3 touched. But I think this blue 3 isn't incredibly exciting. Also, later, when the 1's clue does come through, Sharkbite might wonder whether his slot 4 is in fact blue 1 or multi 1 and not know. And also, when you give 1s to your teammate, it gives them an opportunity to save cards in your hand based on the way that they play their 1s, using the order chop move. Yeah. So I think there's a lot to recommend 1s over blue here.
Totally. And actually, the rare occasion where you get to pull off a triple 1's clue, that actually allows even more opportunities for order chop moves, because, I mean, not only can you get 2 chances at order chop moves, but there's also the pretty rare double order chop move possibility. So yeah, this looks pretty juicy as an opportunity. Really quickly, before I forget, I don't think we actually mentioned what rainbow is all about. So of course, rainbow cards get touched by every single color clue you can see in this hypothetical, which, it's funny, in H group, I feel like maybe that's not going to be as much of an issue. I'm curious how that's going to play out in referential systems, but okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. But okay, so Dune is looking at this. Let's see. Sure enough, we get a 1's clue, which is great also because when you start getting a 2's clue, chances are actually lower now that you have a very juicy playable hand, right? So it's actually not at all unlikely that you're going to have good cards for your teammate to chop move. So Steven, how about if you're in Sharkbite's shoes here, certainly it looks exciting to chop move some stuff here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think
it's all 3s.
If I'm Sharkbite, I'm going to go ahead and chop move something here. It's free. In particular, the yellow 3 is the best of these 3s in the hand because it's 1 away from playable behind the yellow 2.
Nice. Yep.
So I think I'm issuing a single chop move here. I know some players would choose a double chop move, but I think for me, it's a little bit greedy to be saving that many cards in a deck that I'm not sure can support such greed.
I think I agree with you. Yeah, we can't save all the 3s, But that's a really good point that this one is special because it is one away from playable. So let's see what Sharkbite chooses. Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay, Sharkbite says, you know what? You can't save them all. Or maybe he has
Yeah.
telepathy and knows he has yellow 3. No.
I think very disciplined here. Sharkbite is preparing for the deal to be potentially very difficult, and doesn't want to unnecessarily save any cards that he might regret saving later. So,
okay, Dune technically could discard here. I mean, they just were told to not be chop moved, but I mean, this is only their second turn in the game, and there's still another playable to be clued. So if I were in their shoes, I would probably pick up this, but let's see.
Yeah, the other thing that I like about this clue is that it puts color on Sharkbite's ones, which means that Sharkbite basically knows these are green 1 and multi 1, not the order they're in, but those are the two identities. So after Dune does make their first discard, Sharkbite will not have trouble knowing whether Dune's draw is duplicated in Sharkbite's own hand.
And actually, it's funny. It's a weird quirk about Rainbow. I think Sharkbite, correct me if I'm wrong, but Sharkbite still could legally order chop move with these ones, even though they've been color clued technically.
I think that's true. Yep.
I wonder. Well, I'm gonna guess if he didn't do it once, it'd be interesting if he chooses to do it this time. Let's see. Okay, maybe this turn we might see a discard. Let's see. Down to 5 clues, and there it is. Goodbye. Can't escape the 3 prison, which means, yeah, Shark is just gonna keep playing out.
Yep. And I like that Sharkbite has bought himself time to get this 2 down and find out whether it's green or rainbow.
Ooh, right.
Before Dune's green 3 reaches chop.
Nice point. Yeah. Though, right, it could still be rainbow, so he still has to wait. But there is a red 1 appears. It's a little awkward now that we can't get a clean 3 bluff, because this would very much look like a save, I believe. Yes, this would be the first opportunity to clue the yellow 3 on chop. So yes, I spoiled it by clicking ahead. We do indeed get a red 1 clue.
And of course, this is just going into the little wrinkle that Rainbow adds that starts to pile up, is that this card isn't just known to be red 1. This card might be multi 2.
Yeah, and it does reveal this one as known green 2 now. So the priority gets a little interesting now. I feel like normally the rule of thumb is you want to play the card with less information so you can, get a better grasp of what the situation is. But I do see Sharkbite has good reason to play this skip ahead, because like Steven just mentioned, once this discards, this is going to be right on chop. So, well, it'll make it easier to get tempo on this green 3. But I don't know. I feel like if I played this right now in an H group pickup game, I would be very afraid that someone might get too excited and play this as a priority. What do you think?
So I think that's a very valid fear, and I think it gives us an opportunity to talk about a little bit of the difference in 2P versus multi-P, because in this situation, I think it's very useful if Sharkbite is allowed to play this green 2, and Dune's green 3 could be anywhere in hand, because it's quite uncomfortable if Sharkbite is forced to play slot 1, and then Dune discards, and now Sharkbite needs to lock Dune for a turn to get the green. Yeah, like this is bad. We shouldn't be forced to do this. So I think that a lot of pairs that play H group in 2P turn on a more restricted form of priority, where the only time that priority gets a genuine blind play is if, instead of like elimination notes about the card being somewhere in hand, is if you could have played into your partner's hand and then didn't. So like if Dune already had a marked green 3, then green 2, then playing slot 1 would be potentially priority.
Very cool, very cool. So yeah, makes sense. Good teamwork. Okay, we have the green suit being friendly today in Seed 1. I expect Dune to not have a better play than to discard here. Yep.
Yeah, the first BDR for this team. First blood.
Yeah, I guess Sharkbite his intuition is proving strong that the 3s are just going to keep coming. So, okay. I believe this is... It does have -2, so it's not Rainbow 2. there's a lot of stuff going on here. And yeah, these twos still cannot play freely. If you look at empathy, right? Fully expect a blue clue here, actually. Any other ideas, Steven?
I think blue is very wise. Yeah, it especially if they're playing with new card focus instead of fill-in focus. I don't know if this team is playing that way, but if they are, then this buys Sharkbite 2 turns to figure out the identity of his red card in slot 2 before having to commit to cluing the red one in Dune's hand.
Right, yeah. Because if this, unbeknownst to Shark, right, yeah, if this is Rainbow 2, then he has a lot of work to do to clear Dune's hand. So yeah, surely a relief for Dune 2, because suddenly we don't have to worry about this blue 3. And ooh, this will be, I see a juicy 5 chop move opportunity maybe in the future. But then again, well, lots of options. Let's see how they play it. Ah. Oh, neat. Okay, right. This green card could just be anything, really. So Dune actually just snaps these up.
Yeah, I think Dune's plan here is to go ahead and discard their green 4, which is at this point known, and then let Sharkbite play both the focus of this clue, which will turn out to be green 4 instead of multi 2, and then the good touch known green 5 afterwards. Yeah.
This green 5 is blocked from being clued, right? You can't focus it as a green card playable, and you can't play clue it as a 5. So this is actually a really smart decision to clear this by way of discarding your own copy. So very nice play. Get that played. Dune, yeah. I mean, I guess they don't have to discard this right now. They could just let Shark assume this is Rainbow 2. Yeah, I like that. We got a 2s pick up. Yeah, sadly, last week we saw some really good trash pushes, but of course you can't always do trash pushes because this is not quite trash yet. It'll just look like a yellow one.
Yep.
Okay, 2. Ooh, okay. Maybe this time we could see an opportunity for a priority, but aha, we do indeed get the blue 3 to play first. So let's see if Sharkbite takes the bait and bites. Aha, okay. Sharkbite clues this 4. What do you take from that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think there might be a little bit of desync going on between this pair about what is happening with the green card in Dune's hand and the green cards in Sharkbite's hand. Dune's card is certainly either green 4 or green 5, and maybe the reason Sharkbite is getting nervous is Sharkbite is entertaining the idea that it's green 5 delayed through Dune's green 4.
Because yeah, if Sharkbite did have green 5 at the time, we can see Dune would indeed know that this is, well, probably green 4, which in case, yeah, so then maybe Sharkbite's logic could be that this green clue was locking this in. That's a very complicated line, but I mean, if we're reasoning why this 4 clue is given, I think I agree that, yeah, maybe there is just some, not even desync, but like a risk of desync, you know?
Yeah, a whiff of it.
Yeah. I mean, I remember in tournaments worrying about desyncing. You always have to weigh the options. Like, I mean, yeah, if Sharkbite, even if it's what, like a 5% chance this is green 5, it would be an instant loss if he just bombs it immediately. Okay, so you always want to try to avoid desync, but once you're in there, it's so easy to get in your head, and this does clarify it.
Yeah.
So last thing I'll say on that actually is I wonder, I mean, obviously, if Dune thought that Sharkbite thought that, then it's easy for us commentators to say, oh, well, maybe Dune could have just immediately discarded to clarify the situation.
Perhaps. I wonder if it would have clarified the situation, or if Sharkbite would entertain the possibility of green 5 in slot 2 and green 4 in slot 3.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Yeah, there's always something. It's never that simple. So sure, yeah. So we get the 4. Okay, so we get extra clarity here. Oh, well, okay. I think it would probably be overkill to think that this is also just a fixed clue. So I'm gonna expect this is a play clue on this 4.
Yeah, I think so. And I think 4 was chosen because Dune is sensing that there might be, that whiff of desync we spoke about is in the air. And 4 to the blue 4 right now really helps, without wasting a clue, get the team synced up.
Totally. That is such a, I think, underrated clue skill, is finding ways to subtly fix situations while still, moving the game state forward. And actually, that reminds me, this is, a 0 for 1. Is there any way, what do you think, could this be interpreted as a tempo clue chop move?
I think there's a chance of that. And what we'll have to see going forward in this game is how the players handle the possibility of that particular desynchronization. It's going to be a moment before Dune has to make a decision about that, and maybe by then Sharkbite will have clued the blue 5.
Cool. All right. Yep, because Dune could have a red 3 around. There's the pass back, and now it's going to unwind. The chance has passed to simply clue this with a blue clue. Rainbow is very good at getting in the way of clean clues.
It really is, yeah.
Okay, great. There's that. But it's not a big deal. Well, as long as this didn't get chop moved, but
looks like it didn't. Let's go.
Yeah. I do not envy that spot though. Because once there's that whiff, then it's really hard to air it out completely. Actually, I wonder, has Sharkbait discarded yet this game? I'm checking the replay. Okay, only the green 4. This is actually a dynamic that I think can happen due to no fault of anyone, but if games play out this way, if one person just keeps cluing, and then the teammate is going to keep playing. And if they keep playing, they keep drawing cards, and then they're going to keep getting clued. Right, so...
Yeah, and meanwhile, slowly the other hand turns all the trash.
Yeah. Has that blue 3 been on chop since the beginning? So, okay, but no worries. Another thing that Rainbow is very good at is being touched by one clue. So there we go. Yep. All right, blue. Oh man, but the hits keep coming. So one more clue required here.
Yeah.
But you see, right? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because Dune has signaled that there's nothing of interest to clue, so they keep having no option but to just keep drawing new stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
And here we go. Yep, but this is starting to look pretty nice now. All right, surely this is the opportunity. Be gone.
A long-awaited discard. I'm sure Sharkbite was waiting for it as eagerly as we, the commentators, were.
Totally. Ooh, but okay, there are some options. I don't know what jumps out to you, because 3 is a little blocked, red is a little blocked, so pick your poison germ.
I think I'm picking the 3 poison.
Yeah, it's funny. This is going to be fully known from negative info.
And we're about to play yellow 2.
Oh, right. That's a great point. Okay, yeah. And there we have it. No red 4 settings yet, so no reason to stress about that. Okay, so it's just known yellow 4 anyway. Okay, now surely they can unwind a little bit. And okay, Dune knows, surely neither of these are Rainbow 2, right? Because otherwise they would have been told. So yeah, this is a great pickup. Surely we'll get the yellow. Oh, right, of course. This has to play, because this could be yellow 5. In fact, yeah, I mean, if Shark played this immediately, Dune could probably write yellow 5 elimination notes. So, all right, and now we dig.
Yeah. So everything that this team might be waiting for has already been redrawn. So,
and double tempo, always appealing in my book, because yeah, maybe you have a Rainbow 5 floating in your hand. And there it is. Yeah, no, there's no way. There it is. Okay. Huzzah! GG.
Okay, here we are on Seed 2 with the pair Will Flame and Rand P. This is a pair that plays R-Sieve, And they actually have a convention document of their own. Perhaps it's on your screen right now.
Oh yeah.
Who
Yep.
knows?
Maybe I'll link this in the description too.
Yeah, yeah, it's great stuff. I love to see how much convention exploration has occurred over the last. Oh, I mean, just every year of Hanabi for the last 10. It's really wonderful.
And
Yeah.
I love how different conventions can actually be, optimal or less optimal based on the individual like team composition. Player preferences can actually shape what strategies are best.
Yeah, what you say is true. There isn't such a thing as an optimal convention system for every playstyle.
Totally. All right, so I'm excited to see some R-Sieve. If you don't know what that is, we're not going to explain it all again, but I recommend you check out last week's video or go join the Discord. But all right, let's hop in.
So what I'm expecting to see here on turn 1 is just a ones clue, highlighting both of his ones, and that's exactly what we get. And now we have a multi-2 on chop here. So will have a decision on this turn. Will can play the ones out of order to get blue 4 discarding, or can give a 4 clue to get this blue 3 discarding. My personal preference here would to be getting tempo on these ones. Let's find out if any of these twos are playable, and I'm probably going to be able to select a trash discard over a useful card later anyway. Losing a blue 4 is no big deal. Let's see whether Will agrees. He does.
That's actually funny because my gut was actually to go with the 4 clue. Something about seeing the blue 2, 3, and 4 makes that blue 4 look very valuable. But I definitely haven't played enough R-Sieve to even have a strong opinion.
Fair enough, fair enough. We get a blue clue on this turn, which I'm actually not sure I know the meaning of this clue.
It looks very H-groupy.
So I'm going to go ahead and speculate here, and I'm now revealing my ignorance in not having read their convention document, that they play loaded clues as direct rather than referential.
Ooh.
So that a player knows what cards they're loaded up to play in the future. So my guess is that this is just focused right here and is explicitly blue 2 or multi 2.
That sort of hybridization is cool. It is a real weakness, in my opinion, of referential systems. The trade-off of just pushing your cards blindly to play means that you almost never know exactly what you are playing. You can't cleanly, set up and think ahead before you just blind play.
Okay. I would expect Rand to go ahead and discard that blue 4 at this point. And the prophesied moment appears. We have a card that we really, really want to keep now, and Will is going to give a clue that kills one of these trash cards in hand. Let's see which one he picks. That's the one I would pick as well. All right. We have another chop that we need to deal with right away before we get to play our card. I think here, blue, just pushing it, is going to look pretty attractive. Ooh. Oh, and I didn't anticipate the incredible move of discarding this card in order to get multiple plays out of Rand P's hand. R-Sieve pairs generally play that a discard like this does promise position, and it promises it rightmost. Maybe we'll see that blue clue I was talking about, unless for them that would be a stall, in which case we'll probably see 1 instead. No, of course, I missed the third option, which is a wraparound push targeting this blue 3.
Nice. Which is not something you can rely on very easily in Rainbow especially, right? Because there might be a lot of blockers, so I'm probably smart to snap that up while they have a chance.
Get it right away. I agree. That's a smart decision. Okay. I'm not sure what this team's 8 clue agreement is, so I don't know if they have the color push available, but if they do, red is looking very attractive on this turn. And they do have it available, so that's good to see. Looks like it's time to either push this or bluff it to get 2 units of tempo. Or sorry, finesse it, really. Fill in this card is what I mean.
This green 1 is just sort of hanging out. Is that normal in R-Sieve? I mean, I guess it's in no danger of, falling to chop and getting discarded, so that's funny that you can just sort of let cards hang out there.
Yeah, I think there's Ref-Sieve pairs will tend to play with a little bit less of a staleness assumption than H group pairs do. H group generally relies on the idea that your partner is just going to give you tempo on your cards as early as possible. If they aren't clued yet, that is. That's less of an assumption in Ref-Sieve. Clues are often timed for when there's a good card on chop, so that the clue gets extra efficiency. It saves a good card at the same time that it's happening. But that said, tempo is valuable. It makes fewer BDRs happen when you have more playable identities down on the stacks.
Yeah.
And so, given that this team is cruising at 7 and 8 clues, I think it would be very reasonable to go ahead and just get this green one. I'm not entirely certain what the decision process was to not get it, but it is true that Will was doing important things in the meantime, unraveling his own hand and figuring out what cards he was actually called to play. And one thing that's notable here is also like the turn where green one shows up, and Will took the opportunity to get these cards by discarding the 2, and then on this turn he got the card out of the right of Rand's hand, which this is a weakness of Ref-Sieve. Getting the rightmost card to play can be a little bit tough. So he's passed up 2 opportunities for green one, but both times to do something very valuable.
Yeah, he's been busy.
And then this discard is the first one that does seem slightly strange to me.
It would be funny, actually, if that card exactly that he discarded was the green 3. that is a
Absolutely.
distinct possibility, but well, here it is now.
And now on this turn, I think it makes a lot of sense to not go get this green one, because we might just be playing it ourselves, potentially. Okay, exciting. My turbo brain for a moment didn't even consider the existence of this clue.
What's this doing?
The filling clue here is just used to get partner to play whatever card is in their slot 1. Whenever you fill in an unplayable non-trash card.
A fill-in ignition.
That said, one could argue for this clue instead, because now when the slot 1 card plays, we immediately have a second action. I think both actions are good. Perhaps Rand wants to have a reason to give another clue to Will's hand after the red one plays.
Editing last week's video, I feel like I'm starting to see the fabric of the matrix of Ref-Sieve, because the chop changes so frequently. Like every new card is now a new decision at the door, you know?
Absolutely.
So that's kind of, I would not have thought of this 4 clue at all. I'm learning along with the viewers here, so.
So I think we can expect to see a 2 clue here. Not only is this team in good shape, it's progress of 12, and also I know that this pair favors taking as few BDRs as possible, and so I think it's a pretty good bet that they're going to save this green 4. And indeed, they do.
Nice. To follow up, that save would not have been available if last turn, if Rand had chosen the 2 clue to get the red 1.
So yeah, it's a good point. If this hypothetical occurs, what happens? Well, Rand P is going to play this card. Will Flame's going to play this card no matter what. So whatever card this is that's drawn from the deck, it's going to be saved automatically.
Right.
And so one of the reasons that Rand may have chosen 4 on the previous turn was to make sure that Rand gets the choice about whether this card is saved on this turn, rather than it just simply automatically being saved, no matter what happens.
That's a subtle difference, but very sneaky. Oh, that's a nice one.
Okay. Pushing the blue 5. Fill in bluff for the green 1. And we're just off to the races now. We see the team having PTD here.
Oh.
And therefore discarding a card that wasn't on chop, but which was thought to have PTD, although I am noticing notes on this card suggest that they were desynchronized about that. We could go back and look, actually. So here might have been where Rand P wrote PTD on this card. If Rand thought that this card wasn't guaranteed to be multi-2, and Will did from this discard. So the question would be whether or not discarding this card promises the whole superposition, or whether it only promises the specific identity. Pairs play with different policies on that. Very often the argument is made that you only promise the specific identity because that allows a player to make an asymmetric read. So it seems like this pair may have had a different idea about exactly what was promised by the blue 2 discard. And I think that led to the difference in opinion about whether this card had PTD. So getting back to where we were, this should continue pretty comfortably.
Yeah, no rush to tempo the green 2. Actually, this turn Will could clue 2 as like a tempo civ clue.
The reason I think that's not going to work is because the team is at 8 clues. And so it's going to look like a stall.
Yes, okay. Well, I would have just lost that seed.
I had the exact same thought as well for a moment.
Yeah, maybe this. Oh, nope, still 8 clues.
Yeah, I think we're going to see this pattern continue for a moment. I wonder if Rand will take a moment to stall back somewhere in this sequence. Not yet. Okay, another stall clue. Okay, and then the stall back. Here we go.
That was a stall clue with a bonus because it actually gave negative yellow on that too. So that's a creative stall clue from Will, which makes
similarly
blue clue interesting. Actually, what's this doing?
Yeah, it is interesting. So the point then is after this, Rand is loaded. So what does this clue mean? Ooh. I wonder.
This could be a negative color tempo clue on green 4. Because if you see the slot 3 card already has explicit negative 4 notes. So this actually does uniquely reveal the other green card is green 4. That's very cool.
I think you're right. I think that's the motivation here. And maybe it's chosen on this turn specifically because this card has had PTD for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And so this clue can't really be asking this card to play. So I like that quite a lot. This is a play clue here. And now we play into these cards.
Very nice.
This is worth pointing out. In R-Sieve, 2 cards next to each other that share a color are hard to push after they leave slot 1.
Right.
So doing it right now is a good idea. Really saves a lot of headache in the future.
Yeah, I've been really impressed by Rand's timing of all the clues. It's been making things run smoothly for them.
Another play clue.
It's looking good.
Looking great. It's hard to see how they could lose at this point. It really is hard to see. And we get the last card that doesn't require just cluing 5s constantly. GG, well played.
GG. Welcome back to seed number 3. I'm excited to see how Turbo fares in this seed. I am not as familiar with these players. Do you know anything about these folks?
So I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Belkarina, but Kowalski has played Reactor 2 with us. But cool. I actually think that this pair, which I'm very excited by, has learned Turbo almost exclusively from the convention document without much in the way of teaching games from the authors. And I love when that happens because it gives a certain amount of feedback on how well the document actually works for teaching the system.
And okay, right, putting my Turbo hat on, I mean, can't ever go wrong with a 1's clue. It does open up still the opportunity to do a order chop move, if you call it that.
As one of our veteran players in the community says, just clue 1s.
Can't go wrong, just clue 1s. Excellent. Okay, Belkarina, let's see. So, quick refresher for the players and myself. In Turbo, we do start with all these 4 cards chop moved. So, Belkarina needs to think about what card they want to tee up for Kowalski. Well, definitely not this 5, so I expect they will play the expected 1. Cluing this 1 doesn't look very exciting to me. I mean, this card, especially because it's like a Rainbow 4, is probably just about the least offensive BDR I can think of. What do you think?
I agree with you completely. Yeah, I would expect a normal 1's play, which I believe is going to be the leftmost one in this case for this pair.
All right, so we get a 3. This time, Valkyrina is already loaded up, so Kowalski, I feel like they don't really have many interesting options. Well, actually, discarding is probably pretty interesting. And there it is. How'd I do with that assessment? I'm still learning Turbo.
I think that's about right. And one thing that's a little bit underrated, I think, about these situations is that discarding a likely BDR while going to 8 prevents an immediate double discard.
Yeah. So if this is row 3, yeah, that's a great point. Is this, where is Kowalski's chop now, or is this just a lock actually?
So Kowalski's chop is currently on slot 1, and this 2 clue is left referential discard clue, indicating a discard on slot 5.
That's very handy, and I'm sure we'll see. I mean, nothing has changed here, so another discard. And I believe a blue clue works here as that sort of semi-referential pushing to the leftmost card.
Yep.
And we have it. I mean, I guess it is interesting. I mean, Valkyrina could just play this. I mean, there could be a blue one. But yeah, with 8 clues, Kowalski has obviously shown no interest in cluing more stuff right now. And yeah, it is sort of awkward to have 8 clues. Like we saw last game, some clues will get reinterpreted to just be stalls and stuff, so... all these free 2-for-1s with these referential color clues. So good, so good. And there we have it, yep. Even filling this in for free.
Absolutely.
I expect Belk will keep teeing up these ones. There we have it.
And another one.
So just in the normal process of getting these cards played, Kowalski has positive info on all the rest of their hand, so very nice.
Yep. We'll probably see 5 here to get this yellow one.
Ah, yes. Do you even call it a bluff? I mean, my mind, I jumped to just calling it an ignition, because it's just sort of, play this card.
But I think ignition makes a lot of sense. I call it a bluff just because it's a single syllable.
The real strategy. Yep.
Yeah.
Could Kowalski do the same tech as last time with a 3 clue here? If I'm learning Turbo correctly here, 3 would be a wraparound discard signal.
That's exactly right.
All right, and we have it. I was about to say this might be hard to get, right, with a color push, but I actually expect a very simple clue of just a 2. Yes. That's one way.
There it is.
Do it, yeah. Okay, maybe less simple now. I just realized I haven't been paying good attention to where their chops have been, but remember in Turbo, since Valkyrina is currently unloaded, this is that magical tech, what is it called? The unloaded chop move?
That's right.
Yeah, so because Valkyrina is not loaded already, this is magically chop moving this, so I believe Valkyrina's chop is still here, which means Kowalski has to... yeah, I can't save everything, so there's another wraparound discard signal. This Rainbow 2 has been known playable for a long time now, but Belk has been busy.
Have stuff to do.
Yep. Alright, there's a nice push. Nice added info. And finally, a sigh of relief. Trash finally comes. Boom. Great. And actually, what about this one? Yeah, that must have PTD at this point, right?
So it's interesting. It was drawn the turn after Kowalski played the yellow one.
Mm-hmm.
And then Valkyrina played a 1. Because that would be the turn where it would have received PTD, is when the multi-1 played.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I see. Oof.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Valkyrina does not seem too afraid of it. Okay, surely there's some options here. Like, we can do one of your 5 ignitions. But obviously you could also do a color clue. Is there any magical rabbit in the hat to get both of these to play off 1 clue?
Indeed, the 5 clue that you were looking at earlier would do that.
Oh,
we call that a no info double ignition.
Gotcha, right, because these are already known 5, yeah.
I think it's not so bad to also just do a normal color push.
Sure, yeah. I mean, still touches them both. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. It's one thing to, like, know that cool, fancy double ignition exists, but it's another to like put it into practice under pressure, especially when there is like a very defensible, much simpler option. So yeah,
For
okay.
sure.
I'm not at all shocked, and honestly would probably have done the same thing. But it is very cool that there is that deeper tech available. All right. Oh, was this? Oh, that's just known either yellow or rainbow. Very nice.
Yep.
I'm not paying close attention to where the chop is, but I'm sort of assuming if they're not saving it, it's because it's here.
Yep.
Aha.
And here we go with a trash push that also triggers unloaded chop move. So we get a play from slot 1, a trash in slot 2, and a chop move in slot 3.
The trinity of save, trash, and play.
Yeah, all 3 Hanabi signals equally represented.
Beautiful. Yeah, okay. This is looking really good.
Yeah, it's hard to see how this team could lose from this position. In fact, the only way I could think of would be the red 4 being on the bottom of the deck, or the red suit distribution becoming poor enough that a really deep red 2 causes a loss.
Yeah, right. If the bottom 3 cards was like exactly red 4, red 2, red 2, that would still be maybe very tight or losable, yeah. Well, look at that. Okay, and that's great. We're seeing this more and more. This lack of rush to clue these 1-for-1s. Ah, okay. I mean, it still doesn't matter because there's only 1-2 left. Hey, we get some trash push, which does, correct me if I'm wrong, this should chop move this.
Not quite. Chop is currently on slot 3. So it's true that UCM would be triggered by this clue, but the card that it would target is already instructed in another way, so nothing happens as a result of these.
Okay.
Yeah.
Similar to H group then. Yeah, it's just a trash push if it's literally on chop already. Alright, and now they're unwinding. And there it is. The Hanabi gods did not frown on them on this day.
Yep. So we faded the red 4 bottom deck, which now means that the only way this team could have lost is if the green 3s were very, very deep in the deck and they forgot to have Belkarina make the discard to pay 0. But even that will not be on today's particular exam that is this deal. Green 3 shows up right away, and we cruise to an easy victory.
Bada bing, bada boom. Great play. That was a fun game. I feel like I'm getting a hang of Turbo myself, and well, at least from my students' perspective, I think they handled this very well. What do you think?
I think so, and that's the dream. Part of my motivation of running this tournament is to make some more Turbo converts out there in the wild. So if I'm having any success on that front, I'm delighted.
All right, great. And let's jump to our final game of the day.
Here we are on Seed 4, and I'm particularly excited to showcase the game for this seed this week, because this is the seed that was the backcracker of the week. There were only 3 teams that managed to get a perfect score on this seed.
Jeez.
And it made a big difference on who was on the top of the leaderboard and who wasn't.
Yeah, I think I got 2 independent messages saying that there was a monster seed. So I'm very curious to see what it's all about. And this is another turbo system, right?
This is another turbo pair, yeah. And I know that Noah and Estabir here learned turbo not long before the tournament started, but they've been hard at work practicing, and I think it really has been showing.
All right, let's get into it. I'm excited.
Okay, so we see the first hint of what could potentially make this seed scary, which is that there's exactly 1 playable card. And so if the deck doesn't start giving out playables soon, we could be in for a bruising. This first clue is a pattern breaker. What we're used to is this being a color push that tells slot 1 to play, but this pair is playing with a number of rainbow-specific conventions that were cooked up shortly before this seed was played, in fact. One of which includes using rainbow positional clues or colored positional clues to starting hands. And in this case, the way the configuration works is that the rightmost suit is the rightmost slot, and then you keep counting left. So blue means play slot 5, which is the clue we actually got. Slot 4 would have been green. Slot 3 would have been yellow, and slot 2 would have been red. And if we need to send a play signal to slot 1, then we just have to clue once.
Wow.
Yeah, and so the advantage of this is that we've seen a couple cases now where teams have had to navigate rainbow cards getting in the way of their color pushes. Because rainbow cards are pesky and attract every single color clue. Which means, these two cards have the same color. These two cards have the same color. Until we get these clued, they could make it really difficult to give accurate color pushes. And so this convention is designed to try to, as frequently as possible, get all of the rainbow cards in the starting hand clued with color right away.
Cool. So you actually, I guess necessarily then turn off normal color clues on just the first clue, is it?
It's the first clue to a player's hand, if its color is a color positional.
It's neat that the conventions are evolving in real time as the tournament goes. That's very cool.
Absolutely. We get a play here from Noah. His alternative was to stop and give a discard clue to conduct what we would call BDR triage. So right now, Estabir is going to discard slot 1. Noah could stop and clue 3s to make it a green 4 discard instead, which, only risks losing 1 point if it's on the bottom of the deck, instead of the 2 points that a green 4 risks. But the only difference really between these two cards is how many points you lose if it happens to be in exactly 1 out of 40 locations in the deck. So Noah prefers to just play a card, try to cycle the deck, see what we get.
I can already see how some teams might have lost this seed with these green 4s and only 1/1. The whole line of red cards ready to be sacrificed down the line.
Oof, size large. So Noah has drawn a multi-2 onto his chop. Estabir is going to do something about that. So he gives a left referential discard clue targeting the green 4 discard, which, lo and behold, isn't a BDR. Now Estabir has a decision of his own that's very similar to Noah's initial decision, whether to conduct BDR triage on this turn. So in this case, blue 3 is the card on chop, and arguably the best discard in hand is this rainbow 4. So Estabir can either discard to 8 clues, or can conduct BDR triage and clue 4 to Noah. This is a deal where it looks like we're going to have to cycle the deck for a while until we start playing cards. And one nice thing about discarding to 8 clues is that it reduces double discard risk. So I would not personally give this clue, but the motivation is clear.
And actually, sorry, can you elaborate on why is this 4 clue not a play clue, like a bluff or something?
Oh, that's a great question that I almost forgot that wouldn't be self-evident because I'm so turbo brained at this point. But yeah, these fill-in clues in Turbo, what we do is if you fill in a card, revealing it as a non-critical 3 or 4, instead of meaning to play slot 1, it means to chop move the rest of your hand and please discard this card if you would. We call those fill-in sacrifices.
Ha! Okay, nice. I only know that, if a player is already locked, so that's funny that you're just sort of extending it out to prevent people from getting locked in the first place.
Yeah, and conventionally what happens is that Noah is now locked on this turn. But he's locked with a known sacrifice. So he can either choose to remain locked, or he can just be like, nope, and discard it right away. Which is the option he chose in this game. And now I think what we would expect to see is Estabir saying, well, that's a pretty good discard. I'm not going to do any triage on that. And so he'll probably just discard on this turn. Okay. The team is at 8 clues. They both have their chop on slot 1. So I think Noah really only has one reasonable choice here, which is to give a clue that if they weren't at 8 would mean lock, because it's absurd to tell your teammate to discard the card they were already going to discard. But when we're in a stalling situation at 8 clues or in a locked hand, that's the clue that we use to stall with.
That's such a frustrating loop that when you're stuck at 7 to 8 clues, and you're just the deck's not giving you anything. It's hard to. Well, it's easy to just sort of blaze through it and just give random clues, but there's still a lot of subtlety there, and how to optimize the clues that you are forced to give.
Yeah, these situations where the deck is very dry are tricky to play correctly. You take a lot of BDRs on the way. You run double discard risks. So a few of the tactics that you can use are, in fact, bouncing at 8 clues to prevent double discarding, and having a system that allows you to control your discards as well as possible to take the BDRs that are going to give you the best chance of not flaming out later down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can see that working well for this team. Here we go with Noah instructing the red 3, discard in Estabir's hand. And now we'll get to see whether Estabir just takes that discard and keeps bouncing at 8 clues, or whether Estabir decides to do what we call a 7 from 8 stall. The team's at 7 clues, having arrived from 8 clues. Estabir can therefore pretend that he's still at 8 clues and stall back at Noah.
Is that a specific two-player specific convention?
It is, yep.
Okay.
And we'll see whether Estabir does that. Looks like he doesn't. So he wants to continue using the 8 clue state to prevent double discards. Okay. And we're out of jail now. This is a color push on the blue 1. And also, we suddenly see that this team has been very rewarded for this choice to conduct BDR triage on this turn. It's unclear whether doing this triage is actually like optimal gameplay, but in this case, Estabir is sure glad that Estabir did it, because now we have 4 playable cards when we otherwise would have only had 2. Okay, so Estabir plays that. Noah gives a tempo clue on this blue 2, choosing actually to chop move trash while he does so. And I imagine the reason for this is just Noah wants to protect his hand as much as possible. He has a lot of reason to believe that his hand is interesting and that it may well contain a blue 3. Not only from like the BDR triage turn, but the fact that Estabir took every single discard at 8 clues means that like this card isn't trash ever.
Yeah, that was
right. Estabir could have stalled back.
Something I tried to get really good at was getting that spidey sense of, I think my chop is a 4. And
yep.
I mean, in such dry situations, you're not getting any play clues, but there's not really any trash left. The chances go way up that your chop is just some 4, probably.
Yep.
Great restraint to give that tempo clue. That's, even though it's chop moving trash, that's very cool.
Yeah, well decided. And now, in for a penny, in for a pound. He's arranged for this green 5 to be on chop when it was drawn, so now he has to do something about it. So he's going to clue 4 here. And the fact that he has to do this, he's now going to be extra rewarded, because suddenly he's going to be able to get a color push to his blue 3, and then in the future his blue 4. So this team managed to keep all 4 of the playable blue cards.
Yeah. Nice. And there it is, yeah.
And he just plays it. They have so much information about the cards.
Yeah.
That this card is just known. Yeah. Estabir here feels that it's fine if he needs to give a trash reveal later and a good card shows up on chop.
But now the pendulum has already swung. They're down to 2 clues now, so.
But Noah's gonna play this. And then there's tempo clue, there's trash. There's just a good way to action balance between the 2 hands. It's a little spicy though. You're absolutely right. Okay, some relief. Yes, it's yet another BDR in a situation where we've taken a ton, but at least it's relatively safe. It's not another 5, for example.
That's as good as you can hope for, yeah.
So we get PTD on the yellow 4. We get tempo. And just a bunch of known cards.
Ooh.
Color push. And then reveal this 5 and reveal this trash.
Right on time, yeah.
Okay. Yellow 4, the last BDR of the game, happening at about a 4% chance of causing a loss all by its lonesome, on top of, all these other BDRs that were taken. Although we can see that this team has redrawn most of the BDRs they've taken. Yellow 4, the one they just took, is actually the only one producing risk. And in a deck this horrific, being in this position now, I mean, It's a little early to celebrate, but I would feel like doing it anyway.
yeah, we'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think all the way through what... Oh, this was because I just skipped over this. They went to a 0 clue state on this turn.
Wow.
Noah said, go ahead, discard this card. But just for extra safety, he wants to build up the clue count and not have Estabir forced to deal with the card that's drawn on the immediate next turn. Yeah. So this PTD will still be here, but Noah wants to lock in an extra discard and get the clue count back up to a really healthy amount. So he's willing to take an extra BDR to make sure the team doesn't crash out from low clues.
Definitely not celebrating yet. They're keeping the discipline.
Well, they really are.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Funny.
Noah not favoring tempo on this turn, instead favoring efficiency, waiting for this card to discard. Turns out that it's going to come from his hand instead. And now we're just on bottom deck watch. Are either of these cards going to punish us? And we do already know, as I spoiled it at the beginning, that the answer is no, they will survive. But that just goes to show, even up to this point, how tough this deal is. Yeah, here they are again. Having to lock. One player holds 5 criticals, the other one holds 3. This is what we call an 8-card squeeze. The only way this could have been comfortable is if it happened to be 4 and 4. Otherwise, there's a locked player. So the deck just keeps on giving.
Let's see if we see a 9-card squeeze.
Yeah. Okay, so we see the bomb lock convention. Keeps the clue count nice and high during the duration of the lock.
It's actually a funny thing about tournament dynamics, though, is even if you do get that squeezed and you have to sacrifice a critical, you can at least feel better that all the other teams have to deal with it too. So it still matters. Every point matters, and you have to squeeze every drop out of the squeeze.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better.
There it is.
Okay. So here we go. Red 1.
Yeah,
gonna unlock everything.
Fully known already.
Yeah, this is just known trash. Okay, nice. Pushing the blue 5. And here we go. Now there's only one BDR left to fade. 1 and 6.
Oh man, this must have felt so good to survive.
It really must have. Yeah, to win this deal after seeing how tough it was in the mid game there and in the early game, frankly. And not to take anything away from how expertly this team navigated the deal, but you know, some of this was a little bit of luck in the sense that way back here, when we're thinking about which discards are going to occur, this green 3 is no more or less scary than this blue 3. In fact, arguably, it's a little scarier to lose this card. But it turns out that green 3 is coming back soon, and blue 3 isn't coming back until way too late. If we look forward into the deck, the next blue 3 is... Oh, it's coming eventually, I swear.
Oh my gosh.
It's here. So you can imagine that, you know, there are 2 extra cards played for this team, or 3 extra cards, really. They played blue 3, 4, 5, and you can see we're at pace +1 here. So a team that lost the blue 3 earlier could easily be at negative pace on this turn.
Jeez, yeah.
Still waiting for green 2 and the second copy of yellow 4. And that's why this deck felled so many teams this during this tournament.
Wow, yeah. So yeah, I feel for the teams who might have fought hard and still only gotten like a 23-24. Because yeah, sometimes the cards just don't go your way, and you gotta pick a BDR one way or the other sometimes. But yeah, really well navigated, and GG to them.
Absolutely, congratulations. That leaves us, by the way, with 3 teams still tied for first on the overall leaderboard at the end of week 2.
If you want to check and follow this along yourself, remember, check the description, go to hanabi.wiki, and you can follow all these cool stats. Shout out to Steven for maintaining this awesome website. So yeah, wow, 2 teams and a Kimby.
Yes, Kimby has played with 2 different partners. So as of right now, if you have thoughts about either allowing or disallowing pool teams, feel free to come down to the Hanabi Central Discord and make your opinion known. We are, in fact, asking all participants to let us know what they think.
Awesome. Well, this has been a pleasure once again. And next week, I see there is pink. So we will see you next week for a pink video.